Hey guys, so today I will be sharing with you my June TBR. Since it is the last day of the month and I do this every month, I'm going to share with you all of the books that I read in June. I officially finished 5, but I am working my way through my 6th, and I think I'm going to finish it by the time this video goes up or while I'm editing, but I'll get to that when I talk about it. So of the 6 books I read, they were either a 5-star or a 2-star, which is so weird for me. I'm usually all over the spectrum with that. And I think it even went kind of opposite of a 5, a 2, a 5, and a 2. Yeah, so good reading month, also kind of a bad reading month, but I'm excited either way. I have a lot to talk about for all of these books, so let's get right into it. The first book that I finished in June was City of Rashes by Cassandra Clare. I read this alongside my friend Ke-sha, who I will link down below. But I give this book 5 out of 5 stars. I was torn between a 4 and a 5, but in the end I had to give it a 5 because I loved it so damn much. It did take me a little bit over a week to read, closer to a week and a half, but I think it's because subconsciously I wanted to absorb all of the details. I know there are a lot of little things in the plot that tie into later books and continuing series, so I wanted to make sure I was aware of all of those details and really take in the story. So I'm glad I did. I'm glad I took my time with it. There were some cons, mostly involving the characters, but they're all so young and it is such a long series that I know they're going to go through some growth. So I ignored all of those because it has been so long since I was this emotionally connected to a novel. When I was finishing it at night, I had to take a small break because I couldn't see through my tears. I was just that invested, so I had to give it a 5. Then I picked up Paper Girls Volume 1 by Brian K. Vaughan, Cliff Chang, Matt Wilson, and Jared Fletcher. I hated this book. I gave it a 2, but I'm very strongly considering bumping it down to a 1. I've been thinking about it since I reviewed it, so I might. There was nothing about this novel that I liked specifically. The writing didn't make sense. The plot didn't make sense. The characters acted a lot older than their age, so they weren't relatable. The only redeeming quality was I liked the artwork. I liked the colors. I liked the different tones, but that's about it. It didn't make any sense. I couldn't tell you what this novel was about if I tried. So I will not be continuing on with the series and don't know if I'm going to give this to a friend or donate it. So I don't know. So that graphic novel put me in a little bit of a reading slump, but I was redeemed because I picked up All In by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is the 3rd book in the Natural series, and as many of you know, I love this series. It is one of my favorites. Throughout the month, I didn't have enough time to sit and marathon this novel as much as I wanted to, so I did read it kind of slowly, but I still enjoyed every second of it. Whenever I picked it down, it was always on my mind, and I couldn't wait to pick it back up. I didn't remember as many details from this one as the other ones, mostly because I've only read this one once, whereas the other ones I'd read multiple times. But I did enjoy it. I still love the characters. I love all of the attachments to the characters. The Naturals is about 5 teenagers who work for the FBI because they have enhanced natural abilities. They can predict what people are going to do. They can see patterns and things. So they work to solve cold cases, but then they all get wind up in current ongoing murders. So each story kind of follows its own character, with the general plot being our main character, Cassie. So really enjoy it, the writing style, all of the plot, totally check it out. Then I decided to pick up When She Dreamed by Abby Glines Part 2, and unfortunately I was really disappointed with this one. I felt like it took a completely different turn from the first novel, or the first part, and at one point I felt like I was reading a completely different story, except all of the characters had the same names. I did not like our main character at all. I found her to be very flat and the epitome of naive, and she was very easy to be manipulated, which she was constantly. She doesn't do well in kind of relationships, and I think that's where the naivety plays in, but people definitely walk all over her, and she lets people use her like they own her, and she couldn't stick up for herself, she couldn't stick up for her rights, and it was ridiculous. Very disappointed, like I said. I will continue to read Abby Glines books because I do genuinely enjoy them, but this one was not for me and I would not recommend. 2 out of 5 stars. If you want to read my whole review on the When She Dreamed duology, you can find that on my blog, linked down below. This book I finished yesterday and I still can't finish talking about it. I'm getting really excited just thinking about it. One of Us is Lying by Karen McManus. I don't even know where to start. This novel was so high on my most anticipated of 2017 list, and I was not disappointed. If you don't know what this novel is about, we follow 5 teenagers who are all going into detention for the same reason. They've all had their phone confiscated, and only 4 walk out alive. So Simon is a 5th character. He has an allergic reaction to peanut oil while in detention. So naturally, the 4 students that were with him are murder suspects. They all have secrets, and Simon was about to release them because he has this drama gossip blog, and they get tied into this whole murder mystery whodunit scenario. But it was so good. This novel covers so many more things than just the murder mystery whodunit aspect. It covers family, it covers friends, it covers betrayal, it covers first loves, it covers romance, it covers cheating, it covers everything. Drug abuse. There are so many things built into this novel, but none of them felt like an add-on. Because we get the 4 different perspectives, each character had his own novel essentially, and all of these things were connected to these characters. So it made a lot of sense. I loved that their stories overcrossed, and the development that all of the characters went through, because they are in high school, they are still kids, but going through this adult scenario really transformed them into adults, and I really appreciated that reflection of it. They didn't just cave under the pressure and give in and act like kids and expect their parents to do everything for them. So I did really appreciate this novel. It is her debut novel. Blew my mind. There aren't really any negative things that I can say about it. So I did post a full review again on my blog, so I will link that down below. And yeah, really excited for anything else that this author releases. And then the book that I'm currently reading and hoping to finish today, so it counts towards my June wrap-up, is Burned by Ellen Hopkins. This is my 2nd time reading this novel. I first read it about 3.5 years ago, and I don't remember how it ends. I did give it 5 out of 5 stars. I remember really enjoying it, but I wanted to give it a read again before I read the sequel. So I'm about halfway through. I read all of this in one sitting, which is why I'm convinced I can finish it tonight. But this one is about a girl named Patton who lives in a very religious family. She's the oldest of 5 sisters, I believe, and she is held to very high standards. She is Mormon, so she does everything she's supposed to, including taking care of her sisters. And then one day she finally decides she wants to live her life, and her family doesn't respond to that, so they send her away into Nevada with her aunt. So far we are kind of watching her break out of her shell, and there's a lot of drama there. She has a lot of family issues, so we're kind of finding out the underlying reason to all of those. But like I said, I don't remember how it ends. I remember the really big thing at the end, but I don't remember the lead up to it. So I'm really anxious to finish this. Whatever my ending rating is, I will put it down at the bottom screen, but I'm sure I'll end up loving it just as much as I did the first time. So those were all of the books that I read this month. I am quite happy with all of the ones that I read. I know 2 of them I really didn't like, but Water Under the Bridge, I read 4 books that I really enjoyed and loved. So I'm quite excited about that. Hopefully next month is quite the same. I will be posting my TBR tomorrow, and then I still have my summer TBR I have to get through. But yes, let me know what books you read this month. If you've read any of the books that I talked about, let me know so that we can gush about them. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye!